better heated up.
Yes, they're not that good in general. I think they'd be a lot better heated up. I think I bought them thinking about your chicken wraps or the wraps we made with your stuff. It's been like, or maybe had pinwheels in my head for flavor, and then I saw those like, ooh, it's gonna be bomb, and it wasn't.
Underwhelming.
Oh, very underwhelming. That said, go bananas with some Chick-fil-A sauce, and it'll be just fine. Happy Monday, 3 people that are here. What's the good word? What are you guys up to? This is this live stream is random. It's gonna be about 30 minutes or so, and it's gonna make up for the fact that I didn't edit a video in time for today's release, so I didn't do a live stream yesterday. Here we are today. Just want to say hi to some of you guys and just kick it. Autumn Markham says, how was the snow there? No snow. We got no snow recently. Snow free. I'm assuming you got a bunch of snow. Ricky DB85 says, what's up, Noah? Hope you're okay. I'm A-okay, Ricky, and I hope you are too. Kyle Barreca says, Noah, hey. What's up, Kyle? What's up, Cab? Robert Ball says, hi, Noah. What's up, Rob? DT Vids says, hey, Noah, good to see you back. Thank you. Good to be back. Milan Bulajic says, what do you think of Axl Rose? I don't actually know who that is. Jess, do you know who Axl Rose is? Guns N' Roses? 1 second. Let me see. Axl Rose. Okay. Did Axl Rose pass away or something? No thoughts, I guess, on Axl Rose. Tell me what you're referring to. Maybe I can have a comment on your comment. Lazy in Bed says, just hanging out, working from home. Question though, cool. Rebecca Bynum says, cleaning my kiddo's disaster game room. It's cute. Charlie 000 says, I saw your latest video, Noah. How about if you do workout videos and show us how you exercised? I think I saw your remark for that, or your question for that, on that video, so thank you to anyone who left me an idea on that last one. I did just record a couple videos today, but it's 3:18 where I'm at here, and I didn't want to save editing for tonight whenever I get home, 8:30 or 9. So yes, that's a good idea. Some more fitness videos are coming. It's a no-brainer. I appreciate it. Autumn Markham says, you guys had 17 inches of snow? Oh my god, that's crazy. Can't imagine. DT Vids says, once again, working through black tar depression. Maybe one day it will go away. Just surviving as always. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. You know, if you were open to some feedback, and who knows what you have or haven't done already, but I think testing, as much testing as you can, food sensitivity testing, hormone testing, vitamin, nutrient deficiency testing, anything like that, just to make sure there's not something really obvious. Otherwise, God, I'm rooting for you. Super chat from, of course, my man Chad Allen. What's up, G Money? What's the dizzle? Chad, first of all, hello. Hope you're having a good day. Second of all, I just recorded your top requested question from the last video on what are the weirdest things that I was asked of on OnlyFans. I'll word it differently, or however you worded it, that'll be the title of the video. But the point is, that idea from you was ranked right at the top, and so I filmed that today. I'll probably release that tomorrow or the next day, and I appreciate it. And otherwise, I'm good, man. I've got to go coach CrossFit here in about an hour, so I've just got a little bit of time to say hi to you guys. This is going to be my upload for today. What are you doing today? How are you? Adriano Camargo says, hey Noah, here from Brazil. Stay strong. You've inspired me in my journey a lot. That's wonderful, Adriano, and I thank you for being so kind and saying that. Lazy in Bed says, any estrogen blockers you recommend asking my doctor about? I mean, why would you need estrogen blockers? I guess I've been more curious about that. Or aromatase inhibitors. I think the only one I know of is called, oh my gosh, I can't even think. So I've never been on an estrogen blocker or an aromatase inhibitor. I have found that keeping my body weight at a relatively lean keeping my body weight low and staying relatively lean, as well as splitting my TRT doses, has made it very easy to keep my estrogen in check. So I guess I don't have any recommendations, but listen, my thoughts on those are this: if you can avoid them, do it, because there are potential side effects to taking them. Now, granted, if your estradiol is just absurd, then yeah, that's not good either. You'll have side effects there as well. Tim Saunders says, are you still in that group TRT-wise? I got kicked out. Oh, wow. No, I mean, I think I'm in it, but I don't participate very often. I'm not going to lie. I'm curious to know why you got kicked out, or why you think you got kicked out. That's for sure. Blue Cools says, good morning from Singapore. Wow. Good morning to you, my friend. Kyle Barreca says, allergy season is killing me with this cold weather here in Florida. Bummer. I've always been really lucky to not deal with allergies, and I have a lot of empathy for people that do, because that does not look fun. So hang in there. Kirsten says, hey Noah, how's your evening, or I guess afternoon there? It's good. I just got back from a walk. It's good to see you as always, Kirsten. I just got back from a walk with my wife, doing this quick little live stream. I'm going to go coach some CrossFit here in an hour and then train. Just try to have a good rest of my day. How are things in the frigid Minnesota? Camille Cola says, what is your drinking regimen? My goal for my drinking regimen is to drink less days than I do drink, and ideally no more than 1 to 2, but it has slipped to 3 a few times. But 1 to 2 is my goal. Robert Ball says, favorite pre-workout? No pre-workout. So I train CrossFit, and in CrossFit, I think it's far more useful to stay as calm as you can than to amp up your heart rate any more than it already naturally does in that competitive environment, in that 3-2-1 go environment. So I don't use a pre-workout. Back in the day, I'm pretty sure I used something like C4, but I'm not a big fan of pre-workouts. If I ever did try to get into a pre-workout regimen, I'd have to give up coffee in the morning in favor of using it once in a while as a pre-workout, but that would probably be the extent that I would be comfortable doing. 00 or 000 Charlie 000 says, or another video idea, why don't you switch places with your dad and do your dad's job for a day? How would that work? Dad, I'm going to need to give me a stethoscope, and kids, open up wide and say off me. I'm just teasing. No harm intended. I don't know how I would do that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I appreciate the idea. It's really clever. And if there'd be a way to try to play doctor like that, I will. Maybe Jessie will let me play doctor on her. What do you say, Jess? She says no. That got shut down fast. Autumn says, I don't have no school tomorrow of the snow. Hey! Home snow days growing up were some of my favorite days in my entire life. Milan Bulajic says, Axl Rose is a badass singer, but very hard when it comes down to his behavior. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder, he stopped treatment and with explanation like it's bullshit. Oh, interesting. Yeah, my wife remembered or seemed to know who he was. I don't know anything about his story or his treatment or his reasoning to or not to do it. But mental health struggles are real. They're tough, and I'm rooting for him if he's having trouble. Lazy in Bed says, I only ask because my TRT is working wonders on testosterone, but my estradiol is really high right now. You know what? I used to have higher estradiol as well. That was something I struggled with when my dose was too high, personally, based on how much I converted testosterone. Based on how much I converted to estrogen and how much was used as testosterone. So when I split my dose, again, smaller, more frequent, and I got leaner, everything got better. But yeah, perhaps getting on an E2 blocker would be good. Just be careful, don't let it go too low. Lazy in Bed says, okay, thanks for the feedback, you got it. DT Vid says, lost of passion first got me in this depression. However, the symptoms I experienced make it hard to have a purpose. Kind of a paradox, but I'm not losing hope yet. I'm so happy to hear that last part of it. As long as hope outweighs discomfort, then there's time. Excuse me. Thank you. So that's tough, though. Hang in there. Hang in there. Tim Saunders says, from what I understand, they banned anybody that was in some of the other TRT groups for some reason. That's weird. That doesn't make sense to me. But hey, maybe join another one. Kirsten says, things are well here. Haha, about to hit the gym within the hour. Awesome. Kettlebell today. Hoping to be able to get through the full 45 minutes. Rooting for you. Rooting for you. Good for you. That's great. I always admire the fact that high or low, up or down, left or right, you're a consistent mom and you consistently train and work out and do the best you can. And I know you deal with a lot of stuff between your head. So you're an absolute soldier. John Grant says, struggling today. Had to go to CSU because anxiety is out of control. Depression is deep. Exercise 2 hours a day and I eat well. I'm on an SSRI. It's not doing much. 8 weeks into the medication. How discouraging. I'm glad you went and got help. I'm sorry that you're uncomfortable. And I have a lot of empathy for you. I do remember thinking, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm taking the medications my doctor wants me to take. I'm exercising. I'm eating as well as I can. I'm praying. I'm doing my journaling. I'm going to my support groups. I'm in therapy, and I still feel horrendous. And it was very discouraging. So don't lose heart and just keep pushing until things change. Blue Cool says, love that you shaved and trimmed your beard. You look so much younger now. Body updates, please show us your abs or your guns. I'll do a body update video, sometime this next week. That's a fair request, and it's a good way to get some extra content. Kyle Bareka says, I'm trying to find hope and faith with my situation. I work 9 to 10 hour days, 5 days a week. I'm exhausted on my days off and don't want to do anything. I feel lost. Yeah, that's really tough. That's really tough. I hear that from a lot of people I know who work long hours and maybe are struggling with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. I wonder if you wouldn't benefit from sitting down with a life coach or a therapist and kind of just digging into some of your wants and some of your hopes and your desires and your dreams. And maybe if you were able to formulate some sort of tangible game plan that you could work towards that would help improve your quality of life in some of the dimensions of your life that maybe you might think are being underserved, like personal hobbies and health and fitness and relationships and things like that. Maybe if you had a game plan that you could start working through, you could renew some of that inspiration and that drive. I think, and this is obviously a cliche, but I don't think any of us were designed to simply wake up, work, and wait to work again. And there's a threshold for how much we can be in that sort of space before I think it is draining and maybe even debilitating. So I don't think you're alone, and I think a lot of people could support you, and I certainly do, and I'm rooting for you. Armando Mendez says, how are you doing with the new program you are doing of Dr. Jaffe, or the abstinence myth? Is something I'm looking into. I was really good about it. I've only checked in like 2 times in the last week, so I need to, or I'd like to rather make that a little more frequent. I still have a few more modules to do, and I want to get through them. But I really like it. As far as my mindset and mentality, it's just been really good for at least how I see myself and how I view success and how I give myself credit where I can. But yeah, it's a work in progress, that's for sure. And you should look into it. Everyone should. Kirsten says, kickboxing. Let's go. Kyle Bareka says, I had 2 panic attacks days apart and I'm over it. I bet, dude. Those are the fucking worst. That sucks. Blue Cool 789 says, what do you do when you have a panic attack, by the way? What is your primary, what tools do you use to either work through them or prevent them? Blue Cool says, you should do a video of you doing bodybuilding exercise. See how fair. It would be funny to see you being unfamiliar with the weights. I mean, I used to bodybuild. I think I could run the floor on a bodybuilding workout, but it's a good idea, and I appreciate you giving me all these good ideas. Autumn says, you'll be live tomorrow on YouTube. Cool. Wait, I don't get it, but I think I get it. Rue Skitsing says, Does most men on TRT in the USA have big HCG as well? In Sweden, we are only allowed to have testosterone except for when one wants to get their wife pregnant. Oh, I see. So, look, I think any doctor in the know who wants to maintain size and wants to help someone maintain fertility would put their patient on an HCG protocol as well to maintain fertility, like I said. My doctor back in the day when they first found the low T and they started treating me, I think I was the first guy he had ever treated for testosterone deficiency, for hypogonadism. And that's my long-winded way of saying that he didn't put me on HCG, and I'm infertile at this time. So I don't know about most men, but I think any informed doctor would certainly make sure. Blue Cool said, or excuse me, Kirsten said, thank you for that. You're a soldier as well. Hope the rest of your day is good. Have a great workout. You too. Appreciate you. D Alex 77 says, what up, Noah? What's up, D Alex? Nick Judah says, triple heart. Back at you, brother. Desiree Michelle says, happy Monday, Noah. Happy Monday to all of you. Nick Judah says, thank you for being such a great leader to those of us who struggle. It really means a lot, man. Much love from Arizona. It's kind of you to say, and it's my pleasure to get on here and share what I can, how I can, and be a part of people's lives in whatever capacity that this whole platform allows. I know it's a good thing, and I appreciate you guys very much. Kyle Barreca says, I want to pursue producing music or being in the music industry, etc., being in that crowd, but I'm so exhausted and have no creative mind. I wonder if that's true, that you have no creative mind. But that sounds like something that's worth reality testing. But explore that, though. You have a want. I wonder what the very, very most initial path of least resistance step you could take to exploring that part of you that wants that and honoring that part of you that wants that. And obviously, it sounds like it might be useful to figure out what we can do to help you get more energy. Vince says, I want to give a shout out to everyone dealing with struggles physically, mentally, emotionally, or financially. Noah's a great guide. Keep pushing forward inch by inch. Yeah, I want to second that and give a shout out to everyone as well. Kyle says, I just try to keep my mind in the positive thoughts and not go into the dark hole and breathe in and out. That's good. That's definitely good. D. Alex says, I lay down in bed and curl up in a ball under my covers till my panic attack ends, and I write it out and call my one friend that will talk me through it. Haven't had one in a while, and I'm really glad for that too, and I love that. I mean, sometimes it's just breathing, it's getting in a calm, still environment, it's knowing how to talk to yourself and soothe yourself, and reaching out for support. So that's wonderful. Good for you. Tropical Fruit Loop says, do you think you could have gotten T up naturally? What do you think caused hypo? I don't know. That's the big question. It's the $1 million question for me. Is what caused the low T? What came first, the chicken or the egg? I just don't know. But what I do know is that I'm not comfortable trying now. I'm not risking my mental stability now. I've been on TRT for like 10 years, so all I know is that I was in a suicidal, treatment-resistant depression. I was flaccid. I was hopeless. I was dead to the world, and what started my journey back to life was addressing the low T. I don't know if my low T crashed when I had my initial breakdown in May of 2011. I don't know if it was that plus all the psych meds they put me on. I don't know if I was already struggling with low T before, because I speculate that I was. So there's a lot of factors. But like I said, I know that I'm grateful I have it now. It's been the same for years, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Kyle says, I meant creative mind at the moment from the brain fog exhaustion. Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying, Kyle. Yeah, no kidding. It is really hard to be creative when you're in a brain fog and when you're depressed. So meet yourself where you're at, my friend. Let's control whatever you can control today. Armando Mendez says, I think you mentioned you were drinking 1 to 2 days a week or something. I saw in a video. Are you doing okay on that? Sobriety is a pain in the sense you isolate out of everything. Yeah, the last two weeks have been 3 days, and I'd like to get that down to 1 or 2. But I have this new perspective now where it's like I don't punish, I don't shame, I don't guilt trip myself. I don't belittle myself. So I know what my wants are. My goals, I kind of like gently observe and assess. Okay, so I know Blazer games are a big trigger for me to just like want to crack some beers and stuff. Yeah, 1 to 2 is the goal. I was doing that pretty well for a while. Holidays and a little bit recently, I've kind of been back to like 3. And we're going to chip away and keep that working towards 1 to 2. Rayanne says, no, if you recover from social anxiety but didn't talk about other traumatic stuff, how does your life plan? Let's see. Let me read that again. Rayanne says, Noah, if you recover from social anxiety but maybe didn't talk about other traumatic stuff, how does your life plan out? I'm a little bit turned around by the phrasing there. So what I'll say, unless you want to clarify, is it's good that you recovered from social anxiety. There should always be someone who knows you, though, and who you do talk about your traumas with, whether it's a therapist or a trusted friend or family member. I think someone should know us and know our story so we don't have to carry any burdens, and so we can, alone, that is, and so that someone can help reality test us as well. So life always pans out better when you're not dealing with things alone. I think that's what you were asking. Bruce Russell says, struggling with major depression and anxiety at this time, really struggling right now. Bruce, I'm holding your wellness in my mind. You're not alone. I'm sorry you're in pain. No one can carry that for you, and you know that. But other people have been there and have come out. Things that used to make me feel good when I was in that space was to remember that having hopeless thoughts doesn't actually mean anything is hopeless. So soothe yourself. Stay in the fight, control what you can, get your hormones tested, make sure you don't have some sort of hormone deficiency, and get so much support. And we care about you here. Be good or hell for you. Brother Noah, what's your protocol now? If you mean TRT, it's still 120 to 130 milligrams a week. Testosterone cypionate split into 2 doses. I'm actually due to go do that. I should probably try to get that done before I go to the gym. No HCG, no aromatase inhibitors. Benjamin says, testosterone and the immune system with COVID. I don't entirely know how to respond to that. Lazy in Bed says, recently my NP has had me on Klonopin, which has been keeping my anxiety and panic attacks in check. I'm grateful, but hopefully one day I can come off of it completely. Hey, you know what? Klonopin is a tool. And my psychiatrist, I remember back in the day, he had me use Klonopin as a tool as well to manage anxiety and panic and things like that. But he was very strict. It was a low dose, and I couldn't exceed. I had to have more days not doing it than days using it. That was what he did for me, just based on the tendency for benzodiazepines, right, to be very, very addictive. So that said, I know people that have needed them more frequent and then have been micro-tapered off. I'm sure your doctor or your NP knows what they're doing. Just be careful, be safe, and good for you for having something to give you relief. If that's what they think is best, then there you go. Kyle says, social anxiety is a total bitch. It sure is. I can guarantee that one. Stay strong to whoever faces that. I do some days. Yeah, you know what's weird is I find myself to be a fairly social person, maybe even a very social person, but I do have moments where I think I'm having some social anxiety depending on who I'm spending time with. And yeah, it's been an interesting thing where, like, depending on the environment, sometimes I can feel my chest get tight. I'm just like, I wouldn't have guessed that could happen to me, but sometimes it does. Kyle Bareka says, Jake says, Noah, hope you're well, mate. I'm doing pretty well, Jake, and I hope you are too. Thank you, man. Armando Mendez says, do you think Mike O'Hearn is natty? No, I don't think Mike O'Hearn is natty. But I don't think he can admit that now either. It's like he's got to die on that. What's the die on that hill? Yeah. That's funny. Nick Jude says, I've been there, Bruce. You're not alone, my friend. We're all in this together. Amen. Gustavo says, hello. What's up, Gustavo? Lazy Bread says, agreed. Super addictive regarding benzos. Be good or hell for you. Stay strong, people. Thanks, Noah. You got it, dude. Or dudette. Amy says, hi, Noah. Hope you're good. I'm pretty good. I hope you are as well. Yeah, I'm glad I did this, you guys. This has been a nice little Monday check-in. So it's been happy to just see some of your familiar faces or names, excuse me. And I'm going to hang out here for 6 more minutes because I do need to leave to the gym in 20. So let's just see what we can come up with for the next 6 or 7 minutes. And thank you for those of you that popped in and said hi. It's awesome. Kyle says, yes, the chest tightens, and it's usually to new situations or new people. You don't know how they react. Yeah, you know what? I think what I find can be difficult about social anxiety is when you have like one-on-one or one-on-two interactions with people and they don't say much, or they're not asking you any questions. And so sometimes my brain can take on this idea that I need to keep the conversation going at least a little. I would rather there not be silence. And so I know how to obviously hang out and talk with people, and one of the easiest things you can do is just to ask them questions and listen to their thoughts on whatever. But when you're hanging out with someone, especially someone new, and I think maybe this is exclusively with someone that you don't already have a rapport with or you're not naturally drawn to as far as having friendship with, and they don't respond with any questions of your own to help gear some of your thoughts on things, it sort of becomes not my responsibility, of course, but it becomes my thought that, all right, I need to find and maneuver a way into sharing some thoughts I have about XYZ, even if they're unprovoked. Because otherwise I'm just sitting there nodding and going, interesting, hearing someone share about their thoughts on things. So yeah, I think it happens when I perceive the person I'm hanging out with to not have particularly well-developed social skills. Bruce says, at Nick, thanks. Lazy in Bed says, definitely going to try splitting my dose into twice a week. Do it. And God knows I need to lean out. Lifts are good and diet is decent right now, but I do need more cardio. Yeah, do it. It'll be good. Bruce says, at Jank, thank you, good. Kyle says, yes, oh yes, Brian gets mind fucked truly. Silence and sitting in it is pointless, and my mind goes blank to ask certain things. Yeah. Rayon says, Noah, do you agree work didn't care about... Noah, do you agree work, I'm assuming, doesn't care about mental health in the real world? I don't want to say that I agree with that as a general statement, or as a blanket statement for everything and everyone and all establishments and all businesses, but do I believe it is wildly still misunderstood and underappreciated, underrespected? And yes, 100%. But I know some hypersensitive people in leadership and business. And usually, though, the reality is, guys, and I wonder if you guys agree, but the reality is if you haven't experienced like a mental health crisis, if you haven't truly experienced depression, not sadness, right, because everyone's experienced that, but actual depression, actual anxiety disorders or bipolar or schizophrenia or depersonalization, derealization, if you haven't experienced them and truly felt the effects, it's very hard to have empathy for people. It's very hard to actually put yourself in their shoes. You can only imagine, and it's a tough thing to imagine. And I can say that because prior to my breakdown, I couldn't. I really couldn't. I didn't give people enough credit when they said they weren't doing well because I didn't know. So Kyle says, there's no enthusiasm within the talk or to learn more, etc. With what is saying. Yeah. Greg Descant says, hi, Noah, hope your day is good. Day is good today for sure. Thank you, Greg. Back at you. Lazy in bed, I felt that. Kyle says, I can see that being a thing, unfortunately, but not all leadership doesn't care. It should be an accepted absence if you're having a mental health day. It really should. Dylan Hawkins says, my test was 273. Should I consider TRT? Here's what I'd say. Your test is low, right? That's a very, very low total test. But what's more interesting and more important and relevant, I suppose, is your free testosterone. Where do you fall in range there? Now, beyond that, if that were my testosterone and I was deeply suffering and I was controlling the things I could, and that's a slippery slope. But let's just say my diet was good, my sleep was good, my stress management was good, I was doing compound exercise plus cardio, I was nurturing my wellness, ergo I was doing the things that should give me a good testosterone result, and my test was still that low, yeah, maybe treatment would be an option for you. But if you're someone who has the space, right, and the capacity to start addressing this without treatment, you should. because once you start, it's very, very difficult in my experience and from the men I've met to stop. Very, very difficult. And I'm at peace with being on it. It saved my life, a big part of it. But if I had not been so depressed and so suicidal, maybe I would have been like, okay, I have low T, but I'm going to try doing XYZ things that could improve my wellness, that could maybe help me get healthier with my T without treatment. But that just wasn't my story, and I don't know what yours is. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up because I do need to get going. Tough. Jake says, it's always tough, but I like a lot of people trying to use comedy throughout the day, then drink at night. If only it was just a couple. I hear you, Jake, and I appreciate you being honest about that. Ariana says, no, what's the best job for a socialized job when you hate to socialize? Work at a gym or a restaurant. Ariana says, do you agree that young people today are weak due to social media? I don't know about weak, but I agree that they have different hurdles and challenges that I had as a kid when the vast majority of my life wasn't online, right? So I think there are certain social skills, there are certain interactive skills, and I think there are certain active in the world skills that I developed because I had no other option. So they certainly faced a different challenge, that's for sure. Listen, guys, I do need to go, but I'm so glad you guys popped in. You have no idea how much I value the fact that any of you decide it's worth your time to say hi to me and to chat and to hear my thoughts. That's really cool. I continue to be humbled by that. I start my coaching in 30 minutes and it's 15 minutes away. So I'm off. I hope you guys have your best possible rest of your day, your evening. I hope you're taking care of yourselves and being kind to yourselves. If you're well, enjoy it. If you're struggling, be brave. And we'll see you guys in the next video, which will be tomorrow, because I'm doing the 30 videos in 30 days challenge, and we're chipping away. All right, guys, again, thank you. And I'll see you next time. All right, bye.